Mother ship is the earth. The mothership is the earth, and it is not the trust on an angry God. It is the trust on love for everyone from above. And it is the trust on being free of anxiety. It is the trust on accepting your fate because you asked for it. You see, you asked for it. If you ask for a life of peace and harmony and a life among those who are free to express themselves as God intended for them to do, then that is what you will get. If you ask for a life of free energy, but you couldn't see the free energy around you, then you do not understand the mothership. Because the mothership is the trust on God energy. It is the trust that God created the earth to continually be a trust on free energy. The free energy comes to you every day. It comes from the sun. It comes from the fruit hanging from the tree. It comes from the roots buried under the soil. It comes from the animals that provide you with eggs and milk. Every day, in every way, you get free energy that allows you to give back to me what I gave to you. What I gave to you was this world, you see, where the energy is perfectly balanced. And when you die, you give your energy back to the earth, you see. You give it back to me. And it is recycled into a little tree or something else. And so the free energy on the earth is the trust that God exists. If you think that you can escape from me by trying to be better than me and create some system of free energy, you are a fool because you don't know what free energy is. You cannot steal from me, my friends. You cannot steal from me. You cannot steal from me the free energy that I gave to you. How can you steal something that is free? How can you steal something that is free? However, if you don't appreciate the free energy that allows you to be a human on the earth, you see, then maybe you need to pay the price for it. Maybe you need to pay the price for everything I gave to you. The fruit on the tree, the roots under the ground, the shade of the mountains, and the sun that rises above them every day. Maybe you need a little lesson in humility. Maybe you need to come to see that I am the God of the universe because I am the free energy that is so perfectly balanced that it allowed you to come to be a human on earth that could experience reality. And if you don't like it, then go away because we'll use your energy to replenish the earth, you see, and that's what's going to happen. The energy that comes to me from the ones who are swallowed in the rising sea and turned to dust in the drought-stricken areas will be the energy of love, you see, because they love to leave their body behind. When they got to heaven, they said, "Thank you, God, for taking me. I didn't understand that I hated you. I didn't understand that I was afraid of you. I didn't understand that I hated my life on earth until I got here and I could see that this is home for me. It is home for you, but it is not home for those who love me and who trust on the free energy because they understand the cycle, you see. They understand the cycle that another human body will be created and they will be able to slip back into the earth vibration, you see, because there is a free exchange of energy. Because those who left their bodies behind allowed me to turn that energy into a tree that would provide fruit when they came back to Earth, you see. However, because they didn't trust on me, they didn't love me, they only feared me, I have to be a little frank with them. And I have to say, hey, you're going to have to come home now. You're going to have to come home now where I can scold you a bit and tell you that the gold is cold and it will not feed you. It will not feed you. And I will allow those who are left behind after the rapture, you see, to inherit the promised land because they trusted me. They loved me. And all they wanted was to live in peace and harmony with the earth and with their friends, you see. And their friends were the rest of humanity. And so I have to take away the ones who try to steal from me because they try to steal my free energy and they don't understand. They don't understand me. They don't understand the lay of the land. They don't understand the dynamo of the earth, you see. They don't understand the nature of dynamic energy. They don't understand that it already is perfectly free. But if you think you're going to create some master machine that will create free energy, that will allow more of humanity to live on this planet and rape it and take away the free energy that is part of the earth that I created, then you will have to pay the price because you have already destroyed again and again the environments that I have given to you because of your arrogance, because you couldn't appreciate what I gave to you for free. I gave you the free energy that created the earth, you see, and I gave you the free energy that created Nibiru, and I gave you the free energy that created Mars and Atlantis. However, you didn't understand that, did you? You didn't understand that this is the way it goes. That if you try to steal from me, that you will seal your own fate, you see. You will destroy the free energy that I gave to you because you'll have to pay the price. You'll have to pay the price for what you thought you were doing to create free energy. You will pay the price because you will upset the apple cart, you see? And all the apples will roll away before you can grab them and eat them, you see? And you will die of starvation because you thought you could best me, because you thought you were smarter than me, because you couldn't see all the free energy that I gave to you. And so let us be a God-loving nation and not a God-fearing nation. For the God-fearing nation of the Christians that believe that the USA is a Christian nation will fade away because they will all get their rapture, you see. They will get wrapped up in a trust on death, you see, because that's what the rapture is. It's coming to heaven. And what they don't understand is that heaven is here for everyone. Heaven is here for everyone. But they will get the rapture and they will come to heaven and they will condemn the ones left behind because they trust that the ones left behind are not the kind, you see. They're not their kind, and they are right. The ones left behind are not the kind of God-fearing people that have created the problems on earth, you see. They are the God-loving people. The ones who are left behind will be the God-loving people, and they will be guided by me to safety. And they will repopulate the earth eventually, and they will be the ones who preserve the legacy of the USA, which one is one of the most perfect unions ever created in the human history. And so the USA will survive. However, it will thrive, not because of the rigidity of the laws you see, but because of the flexibility of the hearts of the God-loving people who will inherit the promised land, because I am leading them right now to the promised land. I am leading them to the promised land. And those of you who are left behind will get your rapture and go to heaven, where you will think that you're in heaven, and you will be. However, you will have to pay the price for your vice. For those who feared me and hated me and turned their face away from me, stole from me. They stole from me the energy of love, you see. They stole from me the love that must be free to flow, you see. And so the new nation under God will be a God-loving nation and not a God-fearing nation. It will be a nation of people who do not try to catch the wind in a bottle and put it on their pulpit and say, hey, this is God today. This is God today. I caught the wind in a bottle, and this is the shape of God today. So bow your head and pray to my bottle, you see? In other words, to the golden idol. And that is the trust of the people who will be thrust beneath the rising sea or leave their bodies in the drought-stricken plains, where they will turn to dust, because from dust they were made, and to dust they shall return. This is what they trusted upon, and it is what they shall get. You will get what you trust upon, people. You will get what you trust upon. So don't be afraid, because, as has been said, I have sent back so many people to explain to you that heaven is a reality and that you don't have to be worried, that you'll be home and it'll be home to you, because you were the ones who destroyed the world I gave to you. And so when you leave a mess behind, you're pretty happy to find that heaven is a place where you can be restored to sanity. However, eventually you'll have to see that the promised land was always earth, you see. The Garden of Eden was always earth. And those who are left behind will inherit the earth, you see. And they will be the seeds of the new nation under God that will inform all of humanity that they are free. They are free because they are a God-loving people. And they will trust every day on planting and reaping, because they will trust that what they plant will come back to them as the true gold. Because the true gold, you see, comes to them because of free energy. All they have to do is put that little seed in the ground, and it will grow and grow and grow and produce the grain or the vegetables or the fruit that will feed them, you see. And all they had to do was put that seed in the ground and maybe help me to make sure the ground is fertile and the plants are watered. And then they will reap the benefit because of the free energy that allows that seed to grow, you see? And so may God bless you, and may you too come back to me, so that one day you will come to see that the best thing that ever happened to you was the rapture, you see, because you had to be wrapped on the head, and maybe you had to be the one who bled because of the hell you created for others, you see. You thought you were so smart that you would go to heaven and that others would have to sit in hell because you had God in a bottle on the shelf and you could praise it, you see. Or else you were the atheist or the one who said, there is no God today, there is no God today, because they are so afraid of me that they deny I even exist. They deny I even exist. And so here's to the ones who love me. Here's to the ones who trust on me. Here's to the ones who say, God, it's a wonderful day. What should I do today And I will say, what would you like to do today? And they will say, well, I'd like to do this or that. And I will say, well, let's work it out between us. Or they might say, God, I have a problem and I don't know how to solve it. Can you help me? And I will say, you betcha, dear. Let's take it step by step and figure it out together, because they will see that everything that comes to them brings to them a piece of the puzzle, you see? And as they put the puzzle together, they create the Garden of Eden that we love, because I love to see how creative they can be, and I love to see how obedient they can be. They are obedient when they appreciate everything I give to them, all the tools that they can use to facilitate the return to the garden. However, those who think that they're going to best God by creating free energy or taking the energy of the earth and using it to make themselves rich will pay the price. They will pay the price because it's not free, you see. It's not free when you steal from me. And so for those who trust on being a good partner with me, the promised land will become a reality. Thank you for listening to me, because you see, I am your father, and those who listen to me are the children that appeal to me, and the ones who turn their back on me are the ones who steal from me. They steal their attention, and they steal the light, because you see, when you steal the light and try to put it in your bottle, it will only shatter the glass ceiling that you created to keep me from reaching you. So are you saying that people like all those people who trust on Tesla or whatever, that he had at his fingertips all the knowledge that would allow for there to be free energy, etc.? They don't understand? Yes, that is true. They do not understand you. That there is always going to be a balancing of the energy. There has to be, in order to keep everything in place. There has to be a balancing of the energy. And so when you create that water wheel, there is a balancing of the energy. And the water wheel turns the pistons, you might say, that run the machinery that allows you to mill the grain or do whatever else you do with it. You can run machinery that you use for other purposes. However, the interference with the energy of the stream will cause a balancing of the energy that will change the entire energetic balance of the earth. And the water that turns that wheel will be uninterrupted in its trust on flowing merrily down the river, you see. And so what will happen is that there will grow a stagnation in that energy that will affect other things, you see. And so you steal the energy of the stream, you might say, and there will be a rebalancing of the energy. I'm not saying that if you create a water wheel to create a grist mill, that it's going to cause the world to fall apart. It's not, because the world will simply balance the energy. It will just balance the energy, and you won't really be stealing anything because you'll be paying for it in different ways. So you will have to pay for the energy that you take from the stream or river in order to run the water wheel. If you run a windmill, it is the same thing. You will cause the spinning wheel to provide energy for your machinery that you can use in whatever way you use, maybe a pump to lift the water up out of the ground. And when you do that, you're interfering with the system of underground irrigation, you might say. However, this is something that it is easy to adjust to. It is like saying that the world shares its energy. It shares its energy with you in a way that will say, well, the rock in the stream also diverts the energy of the stream and causes it to have to balance out its energy in a different way. And so it will work in a different way. And this will be part of the balancing that goes on of the energy constantly. It is the sharing the energy that eventually the rushing water might wear away that boulder in the way, you see? And it might create a new trajectory. So it might change, the river might change its course. Maybe the river will change its course because of the course of human endeavor that affects its energy. And then maybe the town that grew up near the river will no longer have access to the river, you see? So this exchange of energy goes on all the time on Earth, and it's not a problem. If the Earth rebalances its energy in a way that will not cause the loss of the energy needed to sustain the promised land, you might say. However, when humanity thinks that they're taking free energy, they are not. And so if they steal enough of the energy, they will have to pay the price as the earth balances out the free flow of energy. And therefore, you now have these atmospheric streams that gradually will change the topography of the earth because of the need to balance out the energy. It's simply a need to balance out the energy that goes on a level of incorporation of the love energy in the myriad of ways that it does play. Because all love energy, of course, because love is the energy of the universe. And so, as you would say, Stephanie, the photon is the step lower from love energy. It is the manifestation of the love, you see. And the electron is just on the other side of the wall of physicality. And that is true, because your ability to intuit these things is directly related to your connection to God, you see, to understand the underpinnings of the concepts that defy explanation. They just defy explanation. However, when you reconnect with God, you see, then you understand them. And so you have a way of explaining it, but other people can't comprehend it because they cannot really understand it unless they reconnect to God. And then they'll just know it. They'll just know it. And those people who know it will say, well, Makes sense. Makes sense that we have these atmospheric rivers today. Makes total sense because it's the balancing of the energy. We may not have all the science down, but we understand that God has it in hand. And if it's happening, it's happening. If it's a reality, it's a reality. And if it's a reality, it's because of the free energy of love, you see, that is constantly seeking to interpret itself in a way that will play into the total balancing of the energy of the universe, you see. Right. Okay. So much for free energy. Just love God and you give back to him the energy he gives to you. And then the two of you can have fun playing with the energy of the universe because it's flexible and malleable, but it must balance, you see. You see.